So again, copywriting. By the way, this copywriting applies at every single stage, because when I get someone to opt in and I work really hard to get them to opt in, what if I just use a really crappy line here? Like, let's see, 10 tips. This is not bad. It can always be spiced up. You do want to be a little bit careful, though, in your subject lines, sending emails, because if you use, for example, too much capitalization or too much punctuation or whatever it is, then those can get caught up in people's spam filters. So you'd want to spice it up, so we could say 10 tips for contractors, or we could say avoid, 10 contractor killing. Oops. I'm usually on a PC, so I apologize if I have any weird issues. Whatever, something like that. This is playing a little more to the fear sense, but just the idea of you actually have to work to get them to open the email. You're sending them something free, you think, oh, they should love getting this. They get way too much stuff in their inbox. So work a little harder, and that starts with the subject line. More so, actually, than the squeeze page. I told you a squeeze page, 80% is, the headline. Well, with an email, it's actually, the subject line is really, really important. So with an email, if you think about it, you send a person an email and you're really selling them on a couple things. You have to get them to open it, which is your subject line. So you didn't even get another statistic unless they open it. Hugely important to get them to open it. Then the body of the email has to actually be readable, right? They have to read it, not get bored, make it all the way through. And then finally, typically, we want them to click somewhere. In warming, like I said, you could put the content directly in the body, but this is the idea. And so one really big tip that you guys all want to follow is don't write long emails. If you want them to click, don't make your email look like this with one little link at the bottom. Make your email, if you're going to write it long, maybe that's okay, but put a link here. So the first couple lines of blah, 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 my friend Jim just had a huge problem with his business. He so-and-so, whatever, and now he's getting sued by his employees, contractor mistakes. Click here to figure out all 10 mistakes. And then down here, you can continue on writing in case they didn't click. Click here again to get the 10 mistakes or whatever. So with your emails, the subject line sells the open. Typically the body sells the click, but it has to be readable for them to get through too. And one of the best ways to do that is just to shorten it. There's Grant, again, he has an email format that's great. He always sends 4 lines and a big link, and he doesn't go above 4 lines typically, because his idea is, 1, when they open the email, they can see the link right there. They don't have to scroll down. And 2, if they're not going to read those 4 and click, what else are you going to do? So you can write them longer, you can re-illustrate the point or whatever, but again, main concepts that we're going over right now is the fact that the subject line has to sell them first. So don't be lazy on your subject lines. It's just as important as the headlines were on the squeeze page.